So welcome, Joshua, to Blanquerna School of Communication and International Relations, where you have been teaching our students. As director of the Hawaii Institute for Human Rights, what's your work in this institute and what are you exactly doing there?
Sure, we focus on 3 levels when we do human rights. At the community level, so we work a lot at home, where Eleanor Roosevelt said human rights begin. We also work at the country level, so we focus in the United States on human rights, both domestic, but also with foreign policy, so that it reverses the current practice of the government. And then also at the international level, we really do assist people in a way kind of like the navigators of the Hawaii ancient times. We teach them how to navigate the United Nations and the human rights system, so we assist people on how to utilize the UN mechanisms and which ones are the best ones to achieve justice for their cause, depending on the main issues they concentrate on.
You have been teaching our students during all these days, and what would you like to recommend those students that are especially interested in professionalizing in human rights activities and human rights work?
I think first and foremost, you just follow your passion. So while you're studying, instead of just taking classes that are required, you really do reflect a little bit about what really drives you and what motivates you and what interests you the most. When you find out what issue that is, then you really focus on that and pursue that to the potential that you could ever imagine. And so if you know what your passion is, and then you pursue that with everything you have, you'll honestly be the best at what you are, and you don't have to concentrate so much on what job you're going to do and how it will work out, because you will be the best. You will be interested in the issue, you will be pursuing it in many different ways, you'll be fascinated by it. And then your career, it's great because you're actually doing what you believe in, and then you also are serving a larger purpose, and then you're respected a bit as well because people realize what you're doing actually benefits humanity.
In fact, you are especially focused on the indigenous minorities' human rights. What is this special focus on about?
I assisted indigenous peoples at the United Nations. And by working on that one, it connected to me my home of Hawaii with the Kanakamoli people and where I grew up. It really is an indigenous community that's intact, that's struggling with all the outside influences of globalization, but it's home. So every time I was at the UN, I would think, what does this mean to the people where I live, in the community where I grew up? And excitingly enough, I just applied the theories of what I was studying to what was actually at the meeting that I was attending. So the exciting thing is I was able to be involved with international human rights law at a relatively young age and be able to see that really with my own thinking I could transform an international institution, but most importantly make a difference to people on the ground.
Can you tell us a little bit, one of these indigenous minority groups you have been especially involved in the last years?
Sure. One group I've helped was the Khmer Krom. So the Khmer Krom people are the indigenous peoples of Vietnam. When I first met them, it was fascinating because they said, we're the indigenous peoples of Vietnam, so it wasn't my specialty. It wasn't a country that I particularly concentrated on. So I asked all the experts of Vietnam, everyone I could identify from think tanks to university, and everybody's like, we've never heard of them. It's not real people, and you're going, well, I met them. They speak a different language and they have these unique cultural, so they are indigenous among anything I've ever studied. How can you not know them? And it's just a true reality, as many indigenous peoples around the world are still really invisible. So if you look at history books, if you look at the situation, most states try to make them invisible. But the amazing thing is after 500 centuries, they're invincible. They're still alive. More importantly, their wisdom is essential for the world to survive today. So when we talk about climate change, we talk about sustainable development goals, everything we're looking at, many indigenous communities actually have the answers because they've been living that way for centuries, and more importantly have survived every wave of colonization in all its different forms of what has happened over the centuries. So many of the answers are there. So if you actually listen and then take that, what they share with you, and then coordinate, you can make changes. So if you're a student and you're looking, I would say even the Sustainable Development Goals are really a career opportunity for you because it's the next 15 years and every country's working on them. So it was amazing to be here at the university because there's already a class focusing just on the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and that is a full career opportunity for any youth that want to be involved with social change.
Well, thank you very much, Joshua Cooper, for being here in Blanquerna in Barcelona with us. It has been our pleasure.
Thank you very much. Aloha.
That's going to... Oh gosh.
I'm good. Thank you.